You're right on time for Hope TV Newswatch on this first day of November 2023. A very good evening to you and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Kennedy Kimani. My co-presenter on the sign language interpretation tonight is Boniface Murithi. Now, over 2.6 million candidates were sat for the 2023 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, and the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment completed the exams today, with few incidences being reported across the country. The 2023 KCPE examination marks the end of the 844 system in primary schools as it is being replaced by the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment. And as Alice Diana reports, the examination results are expected to be out by the end of this month as the marking begins immediately.
This was the situation at Westlands Sub-County Exam Container as head teachers returned the examination papers that the Class 8 and Grade 6 learners had sat for on their last day of examinations. The Standard 8 candidates sat for their social studies and religious paper, while their counterparts in Grade 6 sat for social studies and creative arts. Addressing journalists at the Westland Sub-County Exam Container after the conclusion of the 2023 KCPE and KPSEA exams, Basic Education Principal Secretary Dr. Bello Kipsang said the government administered the exams successfully across the country despite some logistical issues in the northern part of the country.
I know, as we are all aware, we were running two examinations concurrently, an examination and an assessment, the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education and the Grade 6 assessment. We were dealing with slightly more than 2.6 million candidates in the last 3 days. And I would want to thank all of us because to a very large extent, I think it's been very successful.
From my sub-county, we have not had any hitch. We did very good deployment. We had 87 centers, and all the centers had a minimum of 2 officers. Up to now, and we are now finishing KPSEA and KCPE, we have not had any case that involved the security intervention. So the sub-county has had a very smooth sailing exercise.
According to Kipsang, Class 8 candidates will know their results and which schools they will be joining before the break of Christmas, as marking of the exams will begin immediately, followed by school placement. He also assured parents that all students will be given an opportunity to transit to the next level.
I would want to indicate that because of the work that is bending ahead, and our children have to report to school in January, we shall prioritize the marking of KCPE so that before we break for Christmas, our parents will have known where their children will have been admitted to, and also to prepare them to mobilize the necessary resources for them to take their children to school, and also to give adequate time for those who will be applying for the various scholarships that will be available, including the Elimu scholarships.
Unlike previous years, the PS has noted that this year, there were very few cases of teenage pregnancies. This, he said, is due to the parents being engaged and empowered through the CBC system.
You may have noticed that this year, we had a very minimal number of pregnancies and our children getting children. So this year, and as we go forward, I think the engagement and the empowerment that we are giving to our parents is starting to yield results, and we are happy as a country that we are reducing this menace of teenage pregnancies.
This year's KCPE candidates are the last ones to sit for the exam, marking the end of the 844 system in primary schools. Candidates have been sitting for KCPE since 1985, when it was introduced to replace the CPE examinations under the 7423 curriculum. KCPE and the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education KCSE, which are under the 844 system, are now being replaced by the competency-based curriculum, popularly known as CBC. This first day of November 2023 will remain to be history in the country, as it not only marks the final day of the 2023 KCPE and KPSEA examinations, but also marks the end of the KCPE examinations in this country. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch at the Deputy County Commissioner Office in Westlands Constituency, Nairobi County, I'm Alice Diana.
Thank you so much, Alice, for that report. King Charles and Queen Camilla have continued with their 4-day state visit to Kenya. The two visited the Commonwealth War Graves Commission War Cemetery today, laying a wreath in honor of Kenyans who fought alongside the British in the two world wars, a day after the monarch expressed greatest sorrow and the deepest regret for the violence of the colonial era. After the wreath laying, the king handed replacement medals to 4 war veterans, that is Samuel Ntigai Mburia, John Kavai, Kefa Chagira, and Ezekiel Nyanjoma Anyange. The cemetery has 59 graves and neighbors Kariokor Market, previously the site of Nairobi's Kariakor Depot, the administrative center through which soldiers heading to the front passed through. King Charles also met with the Commonwealth War Graves Commission members and communities living near the cemetery.
I hope they're all the right ones there. You are amazing. Yeah. You set
Away from that, and the National Dialogue Committee will resume their talks on Monday next week at the Bomas of Kenya as they listen to the final submissions from the invited experts as they come to the final stretch of the negotiations. This comes after the committee yesterday held a meeting with several experts, including the Control of Budget specialists from the Institute of Economic Affairs, as well as the Parliamentary Budget Office, who walked the committee through the ways and means of tackling the high cost of living in the country. The committee has now tasked the technical team to compile the submissions received from the economic experts.
So we resolved that because today we're supposed to get Minister of Housing to make presentation, but they were not available, so we've agreed that they will join with the Treasury team and the Energy team on Monday, and we're also going to get other experts so that we're not just going to be dealing with implementers of these taxation proposals in order to get a balanced view to enable the work of this committee. We'd want to hear other experts as well. So those ones are going to be, a statement is going to issue for the Kimani saying. We've asked again to come up with that statement, including our work schedule. We propose to complete our work by the 22nd. I think that's what I'm doing. Yeah. By the 22nd of November, because we don't want to seek any extension. We want to be able to be done over with this whole thing.
By Thursday, we shall now review and consider as a committee all the proposals that will have come to us from all the experts, and thereafter retreat to do the final report. And as His Excellency has said, on or before the 22nd, we expect to give the final report to the principals and also table our report before Parliament, both houses.
Interior CS Kithure Kindiki has today held a high-level assessment and a review meeting on Operation Maliza Uhalifu, bringing together the Rift Valley Regional Security and Intelligence Committee, Samburu County Security and Intelligence Committee, and local operation commanders. The meeting was held to discuss and strategize ways to combat crime and ensure the safety and security of the community in Samburu County. Leaders and officials from various security agencies gathered at Kisima Airstrip to exchange ideas, share updates, and coordinate efforts to tackle criminal activities in the region. The operation aims to bring peace, stability, and prosperity to the area, working towards creating a safe environment for residents and visitors alike. Company Limited have signed a memorandum of understanding with Fresh Life to improve sanitation in informal settlements. Fresh Life and Mowasco will survey to map out all the informal settlements and determine where there are greatest needs to set up waterless container-based toilet facilities. Mowasco Managing Director Abdirahim Farah says the partnership will offer a non-sewer solution to the people of Mombasa.
Na as a company, we are trying to use a multi-pronged approach to solve the sanitation issue. Currently, we're in the middle of doing a World Bank project whereby we are rehabilitating around 8 kilometers of our sewer line around Mombasa, Old Town and West Mainland. We are reviving our wastewater treatment plant in Kipevu, whereby we are hopefully we'll be treating around 17,000 cubic of wastewater. Again, we are also doing around 15 ablution blocks around the county, whereby we are offering these kind of solutions to appeal of Mombasa.
We believe that with our mandate to provide non-seaward sanitation, we will increase sanitation coverage in the greater Mombasa County, as well as specifically targeting the people that are living in the low-income communities. One of the benefits of what we strive to achieve from this partnership is to really give dignity to the sanitation problem that currently exists. We also are looking forward to partnering together with the county and Mowasco to reduce sicknesses that are a result from poor sanitation, such as cholera and diarrhea.
Over 3,500 patients are expected to benefit from medical camps funded by M-Pesa Foundation in partnership with Zuri Health in Trans Nzoia County and Flying Doctors in Homa Bay and Trans Nzoia counties. 3,400 residents received free medical care from a camp that was held at Kimani Primary School in Kitale in Homa Bay County. The foundation has been holding a free fistula medical camp that has benefited 90 women through free screening, treatment and surgeries at the Homa Bay County Teaching and Referral Hospital.
We intend to have these medical camps in the 47 counties, and we have done 8 counties so far. The reason why we are here today is because we have identified this particular area of Kimani to be an area where there are many patients who require medical services. We know that by bringing a medical camp in a place like this, we are bringing healthcare closer to the community. And therefore, we are targeting in today's camp alone, we are hoping that we may be able to at least see 3,000 patients. We have been able to see about 2,500 patients in all the other camps that we've been, but our target is mainly 3,000. And the doctors from the county hospitals are here to support these people. We are actually working with Zuri Health. We are partnering with Zuri Health in these particular camps. And the new thing that we've introduced in the camps is the use of technology. Because if you have walked around the camp today, I don't think you've seen any papers apart from the flyers that we have today. So everything is being done by use of technology. We register the patients by using technology, and then there's aftercare because we already have their details within the system. So we follow up and make sure that these patients actually get access to doctors even beyond the camp today.
Now, as the Kargi Medivet Medical Mission Camp at Kargi, Marsabit County enters day 3, medics have urged Marsabit County government to sensitize residents around ASIL areas on preventive measures and proper water storage measures amid the heavy rainfall recorded recently. According to nutritionist Jackson Mudengea, most of the prevalent health conditions recorded from the medical camp are caused by harsh weather conditions, poor water storage issues, and their cultural way of life. The medics and the Sita Missions team attended to 301 patients at Mohi Health Center and villages located in Kurkum. This story has been produced by our very own Gloria Musimbi.
We've been attending to patients at Mohi Health Center, just near the Kargi Center and Kargi Church. And part of our team has also been reaching out to the members of this community at the various villages at Kurkum. I believe the preventive measures to these floods and the effects it brings to their health can be best addressed when they are given warnings and actually educated about the flooding conditions, and also educated on how they can best take care of themselves, you know, in matters preventing them from suffering from these conditions like diarrhea and respiratory infections. Yeah, so I believe educating the people of this community will play a big role in preventing these adverse effects.
And one of the most notable diseases we've been having around are respiratory illnesses, with URTI leading in the whole list. This can be attributed to the ventilation of the residential places of the inhabitants. The other problem that has been really prevalent, we have been having gastrointestinal diseases. That's why we are getting incidences of epigastric pain, and we are also getting incidences of gastritis. That can also be attributed to the food intake of the residents, whereby most of them take a lot of processed foods due to the climate of this area. And the other diseases we have been seeing around, we have been having joint pains, and this can really be attributed to the kind of work the residents are doing and their mode of carrying things, because once you move around here, you'll find mothers carrying water, firewood on their backs, which exerts a lot of pressure on them.
Well, on that note, it's time for a quick breather here on Hope TV Newswatch. But after the break, we go straight into our weekly news feature, that is Lessons from the Entrepreneur by our very own Melissa Odur. Stick around.
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, it becomes better, and I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Single.
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on Leadership Forum. Did they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcasts?
Really? Even Meet of the One?
Yeah. I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website, www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live. In order to keep hope alive in the airwaves, Hope Media has a couple of initiatives. Friends of Hope. Friends of Hope is you and I forming a team of well-wishers and volunteers who give in cash and kind to support in spreading the gospel at Hope Media. Currently, Hope Media is running a campaign under Friends of Hope dubbed 100 for 1. Through the campaign, Hope Media is asking Hope FM and Hope TV listeners and viewers to give just 100 shillings in order to reach one more soul with the message of hope and the gospel. Engage with us on our social media platforms at Hope FM Live and at Hope TV Kenya. Kuwa rafiki mso leo.
Welcome back. When an 8-to-5 employment comes to an end, most people find it hard to bounce back to profitability. This was the story of Elijah, who was forced to find a way to fend for his young family as he battled depression. After losing his job as a banker, he soon found his passion in baking cakes and has opened a training center in Kasarani, where he trains those interested in gleaning from his refined skills in baking cakes. Here's the journey of Friendly Bakers with our news editor, Melissa Odur.
Welcome to Lessons from the Entrepreneur. My name is Melissa Odor. At today's episode, we are speaking with a gentleman who left the banking industry to pursue his passion in the baking industry. I am talking about cakes, you guys. Beautiful ones for weddings and all manner of occasions. And he runs a training college where those of you who want to nurture your skills in baking and making cakes and all manner of things can actually tap into this knowledge. So welcome to tonight's episode as we join in and listen from Freely Bakers. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Probably tell us your name, your full name, and what you call yourself at Freely Bakers.
All right, my name is Elijah Waneki. I'm the CEO and founder of Freely Bakers. But niko na jina usani wananiita Baba Steph. So that's the one that when I'm training, that's what they use.
That's a social media name, actually.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about Friendly Bakers. When we came in, we found some ladies, and you're already taking them through the course of fondant making. Actually, one of the toughest things to do in the baking, the cake making. Actually, yeah. Tell us about that. What do you do actually in the college?
The name Freli is a combination of two names, Fresh and Elijah. Fresh is my lovely wife, and I'm Elijah. So that's how we come up with Friendly Bakers. So Friendly Bakers has been running for about 5 years right now, because I started back in 2018 after I came from another field of banking, broker, now to baker. And when I started baking, I was healing from depression, and it really healed me, because once I started baking, I found like, wow, I can do something with my hands again after I passed through some moments which were not good. And after training for 2 days, actually 2 days, I told you I trained for 2 days. Yes, I started baking. And after like 2 to 3 months of baking, because I used to bake a cake, and everything I was doing behind at home, I would take photos behind the scene, then post them online. And that's where one lady from Moranga asked me, can you train? And I told them, yeah, why not? Because now, remember, I was in a need, because when I came to baking, it was a need. So I saw a need, I had a need, and now I saw there's a way I can make money by training. So that lady came, and I trained her. And I didn't train her the best way I do right now, but the good thing is she still bakes up to now.
Yes. So from that one student, you have now grown a whole institution.
Yes, 5 years. It has been a journey, because actually I didn't have patience, by the way, of training, because you remember training, you really need a lot of patience. So when I started with one, I had struggled with patience, because now it is a skill, you're trying to train someone. So, and it takes some time, because someone understands the whole process. So after some time, I gained my patience, and I was able to even hold 2 students. I went to 3, 5, 20, and here we are.
So tell us about the course you take them through. So at the point where somebody comes, do they have to have some prior knowledge of baking, or you take them as fresh as they come?
No, we have some sessions for all sections. Like we have the beginners class, where now you come, you don't know anything, or maybe the only thing you have is a passion. You have seen bakers do something cool, or you have seen us online do these cakes, and you wish to be also a baker like us. So they are green. So they come, we start with them from scratch. It's a 4 days course, full day. We start from morning from 8:30 to 5 p.m. And we start you from the theory. We give you the knowledge. Then we do the practicals. Practicals are the ones that we do mostly for the beginners class. Yeah. Then after beginners class, we have the masters class, where now we train you like if you can see like this is a wedding cake. For you now, after you have graduated from beginners, we take you now through process of making these tall cakes, so wedding cakes. So it's also a 4-day session, where now we learn, like now when you came in, we were doing some fondant. You saw those ladies doing fondant. So we train you fondant, we train you how to cover cakes with fondant and different designs. Yeah.
So tell me about the difference between fondant and fresh cream.
So we call it hard icing and soft cream. Soft cream, there are many types of soft cream. We have whipping cream, we have buttercream, we have ganache. So ganache is made up of chocolate and whipping cream. So those are soft cream. So you see those birthdays where watu wanajipaka huku cream, that's what called soft cream. Then we have hard icing. Hard icing, we have categories like fondant, we have royal icing, so those are hard icing. So fondant is a bit hard, and it's good mostly for weddings, and those cakes are traveling long distance.
Well, because they don't crash and
yes.
Okay. Yeah. So when somebody is passionate about baking cake, For you, once they have come and they've told you that they're passionate, maybe they have tried it at home and everything. So you take them through the whole course and everything. So what are some of the guidelines that somebody needs to know when they want to get into the arena of baking actually?
The only thing you need is passion. The other thing, if you're artistic, it helps you so much because it's about creativity. Baking really needs a lot of creativity. So creativity is you learn through seeing people how they're doing it and also training. So that's why the aspect of why we came in as training, because we give you different designs and train you on them. Yeah.
So for you, where do you get your skills from? Because we know the world of baking, especially cakes. When you see cakes, we always marvel at the creation. And it keeps changing, it's very dynamic. Today they're having very small flowers, tomorrow they're having even dots all over. Others can write names and those kinds of things. Others can take a cartoon and actually, photos, stamp it on the cake. So where do you get your creativity from?
Yeah, the good thing about the Kenyan market, it has really grown. But the only challenge is the way it has grown. It is the same way the customers are growing. They are growing with the market. So you just not bake the ordinary cakes like we used to do earlier on. So for you to grow, you have to learn different designs. And these designs, they are all over internet. So mostly myself, you'll get myself on YouTube learning some designs. Also, there's a time I bring in teachers from different countries. Like there's a time I brought teachers from Nigeria. So those guys come with new skills. So when they are training, I'm also learning. So and that's how I grow. And also the other thing is I do a lot of networking with other bakers within the country. And I keep checking with them what they're doing.
Okay, so networking is very, very important.
Yeah.
So tell us about how, once I have learned the skill of baking, now I want to monetize it. So how do you price them? How do you price a wedding cake? How do you price a birthday cake? Because a lot of people now don't seem to know how to navigate that one. It becomes a bit difficult. Yeah, because you want to make profits at the end of the day. So how do you do that?
So mostly that's one of the most challenge that bakers get, pricing a cake, where some people, instead of competing with creativity, they compete with pricing, hence getting losses. So when you're pricing a cake, you need to check something called cost of sale. So these are the costs that you incur to make the final products. The eggs, the flour, the sugar, the margarine, all those, even the credit that you use to call customer is supposed to be catered in the pricing. So. Then from there, you need to add profit. You need your business to grow. You grow through profits. Then the other thing, you need to pay yourself. The time that you work, you need to pay yourself very well. So that's why you factor in labor. So labor is the money that you treat yourself. You pay your bills, you pay your rent. Then you also need to, even if you're baking from home, because most of the bakers that are trained, they start from home baking. So we call them home bakers. Myself, I started from home baking to the point I am. So you have to train yourself to pay rent. So you have to be charging rent in that cake that you're doing. You take a good percentage from the cost of sale. Then there are legal requirements. Like when you have a shop, like I have, you need to pay for business permit. You need food handler certificate. The food handler certificate caters for the hygiene of the shop. Then you also need the medical now, for your physically fit to do to bake.
Now when you're doing separately as a baker at home, and then when you're doing it now as a quality, tell us about that transition for you. When you're doing it as you're training others, and when you're doing it for a client who has brought for you, an order for a birthday cake, for example. How do you categorize that for you?
So when I'm doing now the wedding cake, mostly right now I'm doing mostly wedding cakes because I love wedding cakes. They pay well. I'm in business, so I love wedding cakes, but I also do the birthday cakes. But my passion mostly is on training. I love training because now I'm impacting. When I came to training, the field, we didn't have so many trainers in the field. So I found a niche that needed someone to fill up the niche. So I came in and started training, and I charged the lowest prices in the market. So I have really impacted over 1,000 bakers in the industry.
I am curious, as an entrepreneur, would be on how you transition from being formally employed to now doing your own thing.
So when I went to school, I didn't do baking, I did computer science because I love things with computer. Then after that, I didn't join computer field, I joined banking. So after banking, I did for like 3 years until I left banking, then started as a broker. So I used to sell cars and lands, all those things. Then from there, something happened. I was conned in the process of selling cars until I lost everything. Then that's when now someone introduced me to baking. So baking, as I said, I didn't come because of passion, it was a need. But the good thing is when I, as an entrepreneur, when I came to this field, I really worked hard to make it work, and here I am right now. Yeah.
So of course there are men who will say, I'm gonna pika, we leave it for women, you know, as to focus on the masculine jobs. What would you say about that? Especially people who still, you know, very conservative in their thoughts about it.
Yeah, this field is not for just females only, so even men do it. And when they do it, they do it the best. The good thing about the market, as a boy child, as we call them, if you come as a man, and in this field, which is dominated by women, you are accepted very fast. Because most of the people who are doing baddies are ladies, right? So even when people are ordering, they order, it's the women who are doing orders. I don't remember the last time I saw a man ordering a cake. But they do, but most of the time are women who do orders. So as a man, the industry really accepts you, and that's how I grew very fast in the industry. Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that you have encountered, for example, that you can share? Some of the, you know, the toughest lessons that you have encountered as you do this business.
So, like in baking business, some of the challenges is delivering as the client needed, because I told you the market, the customers have really grown, and they will go and download a cake and they want exactly as it is. So some skill you have to first of all learn them before you deliver that cake. So it becomes challenging, because sometimes you deliver a cake and the customer tells you, this is not what I delivered. The other challenge is delivering itself is a challenge. Taking that cake from this premise to the customer is a challenge, because the customer needs it as it is, and you know sometimes our roads are not very smooth, and maybe you can get an accident and fall. So getting back, doing all that work again, it's a whole process. It's really tiresome.
So what would be your final thoughts for somebody who wants to venture into this? They're employed, maybe they have a little passion for cakes and baking generally, and they would want to know, how do you transition?
So what I tell them, this baking industry, even if we are doing so well, it was not a one-day thing. It takes some time for you to grow. First of all, before you quit your job, please invest in skill in baking. Start to, when after work, be doing bits of it at home, and you sell to your colleagues at job. And at least when you're coming out, at least it has established before you move on, because it can be frustrating when you leave your job and you come to baking and it's not doing the way you thought. So baking, you give it at least a span of 1 year for it to be well established.
And then if somebody wants to also transition into now training, maybe they're passionate about, you know, impacting, what did you tell them?
Training is one of the best things that you can do, because there the only stock you have is your brain. So you're selling your skills. The only thing is, I tell them, please have passion of training, and also be patient with these people, because you see you're training adults. It's not like watoto tawachuna kidogo, so you have to be patient with them, and as in be there for them when they need you. That's how I've grown, because I'm always there for my students. In that span of 5 years, I told you I have trained over 1,000. If you check my inbox, always teacher, how do I do this? So don't get tired of them until they stand.
So what are some of the spaces that you can be found on? We found each other on Facebook.
Yes.
So tell us about the places where you know.
Myself, I'm in TikTok. Actually, it was not easy for me. I'm not very active in TikTok, but at least I'm doing something. Facebook is the one that I'm very active. So on Facebook, you are going to get us as Freddy Bakers. We are also in Instagram as Freddy Bakers. We are also on Threads, the newest social media platform. Threads, we are still there. So those are the platforms that you're going to get us.
What would be your parting shot?
What I tell people, you need to start it. Because if you haven't started, you'll never make it. You need to first of all to start. Then in the process, you work hard, you invest in skills, and you're going to make it in whatever business that you're going to do. Yeah.
Thank you, Elijah, for sharing your thoughts on how to establish and actually set up a baking cakes business actually. So much to learn from lessons from the entrepreneur. The people who love cake, this is your to-go-to person. Thank you for making today's episode of Lessons from the Entrepreneur. My name is Melissa Odor. Until next time.
And to some sporting action now, 12 teams have so far confirmed their participation in the forthcoming Safari Sevens rugby tournament, scheduled to take place from the 17th to the 19th of this month at the RFUA grounds in Nairobi. The international representation will be a key feature of the competition, with the inclusion of the UK's invitational sides, namely Tropic Sevens, Apache Sevens and Red Whalers. Germany is also set to make a return to Nairobi for the event, and Qatar will join the lineup, adding an exciting dimension to the tournament. Kenya will field 3 sides, that is the Shujaa, the Morans and the KCB-RFC. The women competition has so far attracted 5 teams, which include the 2 Kenya Lionesses squads, Uganda, Tuks Women, and Tropic Sevens. In the previous edition of the Safari Sevens tournament in 2021, Shujaa clinched the title by defeating Germany 12-5 in the Cup finals. And Gor Mahia took full advantage of a debatable red card to beat 10-man Shabana FC 1-0 in a Football Kenya Federation Premier League match played at the Moi International Sports Centre Kasarani today afternoon. Shabana FC standing coach Oscar Kambona made several changes to the team that had lost to Lindsay Stars in their previous match played on Sunday. Despite his subpar performance against the Soldiers, Isaac Otieno retained his place in the starting lineup. Meanwhile, AFC Leopards were being held to a 0-0 draw by Kariobangi Sharks at Ulinzi Sports Complex. The first half was a cagey affair, with both teams unable to create clear-cut goals, scoring chances. Second half, however, showed more promise, with more chances created, Sharks coming closest, testing AFC's Humphrey Katasi. The match ended with both sides sharing the spoils.
Yeah, like you are saying, maybe it would be better if the game would finish 3-3, so the fans would enjoy more goals. But interesting game for me. We try to win, they try to win. We try to find a solution against them. They also were prepared well. So I believe that during the other games we will see that this point is very important, because Shark is a good team. We are getting somewhere. So we have to take this one point with to be humble. I know the fans are always demanding in AFC. They always want to win, but we are getting somewhere.
We had 1 or 2 chances even in the second half, but honestly I think AFC came up a bit strong in the second half. Did some good counters, very dangerous on set piece, very good corner kicks from them. And the effort together with their coach and the players, whatever they put in the second half, maybe they deserved more. So to me, I'll say that I want to appreciate for the point I had.
And with that, we come to the end of our news tonight. Many thanks to you for watching Hope TV Newswatch. We really do appreciate the value of your time. On behalf of the whole team that made this broadcast a success, have yourselves a blessed night. My name is Kimani, and my co-presenter on the sign language interpretation has been Boniface Murithi.